Are you selling a product, or are you selling a lifestyle that incorporates your products? And what's the difference between the two when you're planning and making your video content? Well, let's have a look and try and break it down for you. The term product video is quite self-explanatory. It is what it says on the tin. There's not really much to think about in that aspect. It's a video that is product-centric, whether that is one product, a standalone, or a complementary line of products. They are often filmed on either a white or blank background, or perhaps in situ, but with a large depth of field, which just means it's got a blurry background. They will have information as to what the product does and why you should be buying it, what is the benefit of it, and it's not often used in a narrative style. So it is, this is the product, this is what it does, this is how it's used, end of. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have our lifestyle videos. These are often utilized by larger brands who aren't just trying to sell one line of products. They have a whole variety of products they know that they can sell by the value of their brand name. So it's a very different way of keeping their branding and their products at the forefront of consumers' minds. So you see this a lot with household names such as Coke, Apple, Nike, just to name a few. They often aren't promoting a singular line. They will often do a broader lifestyle advert and then use product videos simultaneously for smaller promotional in-store generally displays. So anytime you walk into an Apple shop, they have very aesthetically pleasing videos of their most recent launches playing on all their digital displays, whether that includes any promotions they're running as well. It's kind of the norm. It's the same with Nike. They probably aren't going to run an advert about a specific pair of running shoes, for example, because they have a whole running line. It's just not as economical. And they're aware that because of the trust and value that their brand name already has, that they don't need to push the unique selling point of every individual product they launch, because they understand that the trust is already there and that consumers will go and buy something even if it's not specifically talked about. So instead, they utilize our lifestyle video content to create this aspirational environment that you can put yourself into and see yourself living, that is aided with the benefit of their products. What's different about lifestyle video content and adverts is that they are not product centric. They obviously include the product, but often one advert might include several products from the brand, or even not really highlight the product at all, because it's about the brand and the people who consume the brand rather than the product, because they want you to believe that you can become that person if you use their products. What you might be thinking though is that you are a small brand, your branding, your name isn't household yet, it's slowly growing, you might even just be a startup. Are you still able to make this lifestyle content? And to that, I would say absolutely. I think this is something that every brand, particularly those with products, should be doing from the get-go. I think it's a great way to start building up your brand image, your messaging, your tone, what consumers can then go on to expect from you. I then think you layer that with all your other marketing strategies. The issue that small brands come up against is the fear that they're not doing enough and that consumers don't know enough about the product. When they're trying to make these aspirational lifestyle videos, it's very easy for you to look at a video that isn't saying much but is actually showing a lot and think that the audience and the consumer is not going to get what you're trying to tell them. And if that's the case, you've just not made the right content. I think trying to cram more information in to get that across isn't helpful. It can really muddy the emotional buy-in you're trying to create with the lifestyle video. And I can understand why you want to put as much information in a video as possible when you're paying so much for this video content and you're a small brand. Like, it can be a huge investment. You might not think that you're doing enough to get the leads that you need in order to get that return. But in this day and age, the hardest part is getting the engagement, is capturing people's attention when they're scrolling, when they're just perusing the internet. It is a minefield. So if you can grab someone's attention and get them interested and get them engaged, they will follow that up themselves. Cramming as much information and making what could be a really delightful lifestyle video really messy and busy isn't going to help your brand message and the way that you want your brand to be perceived in the future. It might just be off-putting from the go and they might just scroll by. You're much better off taking your time with it, making sure your narratives are really strong and really put across the message you want them to, and allow the consumer to do the rest for you. So if you're thinking about making either a product video or a lifestyle video, there are several things you need to think about, such as who is your target market, which obviously you should already know by this point. I shouldn't be asking you that. But go really in depth with that so that you are able to create a character for a narrative, even if it is just for a product video, because you can then build on that singular product video into either more or into a lifestyle video. Really think about who they are, what their story is, and really think about like who your brand is as well and who you want your brand to be for your consumer.